Hey guys, what's going on? This is Andrew here today, and this is the part 2 video to my top 20 favorite games of all time. Let's get directly into this. We're going to follow the same exact format that we followed in the first video. Alright guys, in the last video we left off on number 10. We are now down to number 9, and that game that I had to pick for my number 9 spot had to be Uncharted 4. I didn't have a PS3 when these games were coming out, so I didn't play the first 3 up until I got the Nathan Drake collection on PS4. I enjoyed the hell out of those, and then I eventually got Uncharted 4 directly after. I have to say that Uncharted 2 is probably the best Uncharted game that they made, and then Uncharted 3 right behind that. But Uncharted 4 actually ended up being my favorite out of all of them. A lot of people will disagree with me on that one, especially the diehard Uncharted 2 guys, but Uncharted 4 I feel like had the best story to it. I feel like it had the best gameplay. The graphics were just absolutely incredible. This was probably the best looking game on the PS4, maybe, but to me, this was literally one of the best looking games. It honestly holds up very well today too. I did recently do another playthrough of it on the PS5. Haven't finished it yet, but I played through a majority of it. Still looks really good on modern TVs. I really want them to put a 60 FPS patch for this game on the PS5 because I would love to play this with like enhancements and all that stuff. But for now, I've done the one experience on the PS4 and it was just an extremely good one. After this one, Lost Legacy came out. It was pretty good, but I don't think it was nearly as good as any of the Uncharted games that had come out previously. Whatever it was, really enjoyed Uncharted 4. If you are a PlayStation fan, you have to try this series. Definitely do the first 3 first, and maybe even do Golden Abyss if you have a Vita. So, that being said, guys, let's jump to the next game. Alright, guys, at our number 8 spot, we are going to be talking about Spider-Man Miles Morales. So, when I initially completed this game, I considered it my favorite game of all time. Obviously, as time went on and I got to think about it more, it no longer became my favorite game of all time, but it definitely is one of them. When it comes to the Spider-Man games, I feel like this is definitely the best Spider-Man game that has come out. I love Spider-Man 2, I love the Spider-Man 2018 on the PS4, but I feel like this expanded on what Spider-Man on the PS4 was by giving Miles Morales such an amazing moveset. I also liked that it was actually a shorter game instead of being like a very long, kind of like mini long game where the story was going to be kind of dragged out. I like that they kind of made it short and simple. That honestly gives like a nice bridge to the Spider-Man 2. I really hope we get to play as both of the characters. That would be really cool. Overall though, Miles Morales had an amazing moveset, and it's the reason why I consider this better than the actual full-blown Spider-Man game on the PS4. Really, really good game. If you have a PS4, get this game. If you have a PS5, definitely get the game as well. Great game, guys. Let's start talking about the next one. At number 7, we have Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness, my favorite home console release of a Pokemon game. What I loved about this game was that it didn't just take the Pokemon formula and keep it the same. They kind of did something different with it. They made shadow Pokemon to where you had to capture them a special way. It wasn't like where they had gym leaders or wild Pokemon. It was just a completely different Pokemon game, and that's what I liked about it. I liked that they tried something new. Same thing with Pokemon Sun and Moon. I loved that they did something new rather than follow the same formula. I always find it cool when they stick to something else. When it came to this game, it looks amazing. Graphically, it still looks great. I got the Xbox Series S, and I ran this game in 4K on the RetroArch on that thing, and it looked absolutely insane even to this day. You put that in a 4K TV and compare it to Sword and Shield, I still think it looks better. So I've been waiting for a long time for people to actually make for Nintendo to make a Pokemon game look better than this, and they have failed to time and time again. This game looks incredibly great. I feel like the Pokemon were really good. I feel like the story was really good. This was a Pokemon game with a different kind of formula, and that's really honestly what I loved about it. I wish they would remaster this game. I wish they would make like a sequel to this game or another game in the style to this game, because I haven't seen anything like this ever since this game, and I really think they need to make a new one. So that being said, guys, let's go to the next game. At number 6, we have Halo 2 for the original Xbox. So I was fortunate to play these games around the time they came out, but I wasn't very good at them, and I didn't play multiplayer because I didn't have Xbox Live. I didn't get a chance to like fully appreciate this game until I got the Master Chief Collection and played through it, because I was pretty young when the game came out. I was born in 2001, so I was born a little bit before the original Xbox came out. And then I believe this game came out in either 2003 or 2004, and I was really little when I played this game for the first time, when my dad let me play it with him. So When it came to this game, me and my friends, we weren't really into Halo back then. Like I said, I didn't get a chance to really experience this game until the Master Chief Collection. When the Master Chief Collection came out, it became one of my favorite games of all time. I really liked Halo 3 as well. Every single Halo game that I played, I liked to an extent. Halo 5, I didn't like that much, but I still enjoyed it to a decent extent. Halo 2, honestly, is my favorite game when it came to the story. I felt like they improved on the graphics from Halo CE. I just felt like it was overall probably the best Halo game that they've come out with so far. And in terms of new releases, I am very excited to see a Halo Infinite. I want to see what they've been working on. I want to see if they learned their lesson from 5 and 4. I just want to see if we're ever going to see something that holds up to games like Halo 1 and 2 and 3 ever again. Because this was really good, and basically after Halo 3 is when we started seeing a downfall. So that's that game, guys. Let's go to number 5. Number 5 on our list is The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, the video game. A lot of words. So basically, this was the first game that I ever was addicted to. I can easily say this is the first game I was addicted to because when it came to other games, if I had to do something, I would put them down. When it came to this game, I would basically get very aggressive if I had to put the game down. And if I had to use the bathroom, most of the time I would hold it in like crazy. And there were times where I literally shit myself because I was playing this game and didn't want to get up when I was in like 1st and 2nd grade. Really, really bad addiction to this game. Way back in the day, to the point where my parents had to take it away eventually, and they didn't give it back to me until I was mature enough to play a violent game like this. It was also the game violence and a ton of other factors that made them take it away, but whatever it was, got this game taken away. I've told this story so many times now. Once I got the game back, I was hooked on it, but not hooked on it enough to shit myself like I was back then. I've played through this game so many different times now on every single console that's ever come out on. I'm trying to 100% complete it on every single console again. Since I just got my Xbox Series S and emulation running, I played this game on there as well with the Dolphin emulator, on the RetroArch, I should say, the Dolphin Core, I should say, whatever it was. Really enjoy this game. A lot of the times, I'll take like a break from it for like 6 months and then I'll replay it again. It's one of those games I just can't seem to put down. I think I'm starting to finally get bored of it, but I mean, I've played this game so many times and I still love playing through it every time that I do. So, had to be number 5 on my list. It's definitely one of my favorite games of all time. And if you have a PS2, GameCube, or Xbox, I highly recommend picking up this game. It's pretty short, but it definitely is worthwhile. So, that being said, guys, let's get to the next game. So when it comes to Guitar Hero, it's always hard for me to pick my favorite game because there's so many games that I enjoyed like crazy. Guitar Hero 3 probably would have been my favorite if this wasn't picked as my favorite, but at number 4, we got Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock as my favorite Guitar Hero game. In my opinion, this had the best setlist in the game for those who were really into rock and especially hard rock and metal. It definitely had a bigger hard rock setlist than, I would say, Guitar Hero 3. Definitely a harder heavy metal setlist compared to Guitar Hero 3. I loved the Megadeth songs that they had on this game. Sudden Death is my favorite Megadeth song of all time at the moment, right next to Tornado of Souls. Really an amazing setlist. On top of that, they had an awesome kind of feature for the custom songs with GH Tunes. A ton of people were making great songs on there, specifically the 360 version where I feel like they had it the best. And then the PS3 and Wii were just right behind it, or the PS3 was on par with the 360 and the Wii version was right behind it. So really enjoyed this game like crazy. Definitely a huge part of my childhood and a big reason I still play Guitar Hero to this day. If you play Guitar Hero, I definitely recommend getting this game. With that being said, guys, let's get to our last 3 games. At our number 3 spot, guys, we have Pokemon Emerald. This happens to be my favorite Pokemon game of all time. In terms of story, in terms of the Pokemon selection, in terms of gameplay, this has to be my favorite game in the whole Pokemon series. It also was the first Pokemon game that I ever played because I got this with my GBA. My cousins played Ruby and Sapphire, and my older cousin played even before that, dating back to the originals, but this was my first game in the franchise before I eventually played every other game that came out, minus a select few that I still got to play through. But whatever it is, this is definitely my favorite. My favorite starters from any game have to be from this one. When it comes to my favorite starter, I normally like Torchic because Blaziken is my favorite starter, but for speedrunning purposes, Swampert normally is, or Mudkip I should say, evolving into Swampert makes the game a lot easier because he doesn't have many weaknesses, and it's easy just to push through people without having to worry about getting a whole team. I normally make my starter overpowered, so using Swampert, he's pretty OP in this game. Just powers basically through everybody, especially that double battle gym leader. You just use Muddy Water or Surf, and you're through the gym in a second. So definitely enjoyed this game quite a lot. If there was a game I had to put behind it, I'd probably say Pokemon Black, and right below that, I'd have to say Pokemon Platinum. But, you know, it's very hard to rank the Pokemon games because they're all so good to me. But no doubt, nostalgia, this game, because of nostalgia, definitely has to be my favorite game. Other than that, right below that, I'd definitely say Pokemon Black. But great game, guys. If you're a Pokemon fan, definitely try this one out. It had a lot of mixed perception. I personally think that it's the best, but a lot of people will disagree with me on that. So let's get to the next game. At our number 2 spot, we have a game from my favorite franchise right next to Quake, and that has to be Doom. So the one I picked for my number 2 spot had to be Doom Eternal, because this one was just an awesome, fast-paced, just load of fun. I mean, I loved what they improved on compared to Doom 2016. I felt like they had really good worlds. I felt like they had great power-ups in this game. I felt like the added concepts to this game definitely made it an amazing one. If you're a Doom fan, although this isn't like the classic Doom, it definitely is a fun reimagining of the game. I love, honestly, what they've done with it, the fast pace of it. It kind of gives me a Halo feel in a way, like a much faster paced version of Halo, but it is like an extremely good game, and I've now played this game on PC, Xbox Series X, Xbox One. I'm looking to eventually play this on every platform just because I had fun playing this game so much. I've already beaten it 3 different times. Oh, I also played it on the Switch because I got that shitty version. But played this game a few times now. The last platform I have to beat it on that I own the game on is definitely on my PC, which is ironic because that was also the first copy of the game that I got. I got the Amazon physical version of the game where it didn't have the disc, it just had the case with the disc code in it where you had to redeem it on Bethesda.net, even though they told me to redeem it on some other thing and it wasn't working. There was the whole long story with that, but I played through this game, liked it a lot, but there was one game above it that I enjoyed more that I'm going to talk about in a second. So before we get to that number 1 we were just talking about, I have to give some honorable mentions. Call of Duty Black Ops 1, Black Ops 2, great games, amazing campaigns, amazing zombie modes. Definitely games that hold up very well today. Amazing multiplayer. Everything about those games were just incredible. I also have to mention the Modern Warfare games, the original ones. I even like Call of Duty Ghosts campaign in a way, so definitely had to add those to the list. Up next, you know, we have Duck Hunt, a game I grew up with a ton. My dad had an NES. My uncle had the NES. We played it at my grandparents' house, played a ton of it. Ends up being one of my favorite games of all time. Punch-Out, another NES game I grew up with at my grandparents' house that we played all the time. Darius Gaiden on the Sega Saturn. Don't really know 100% how to pronounce it. Everybody says it's either Darius Gaiden or Darius Gaiden. I say Darius Gaiden. I think that's how it's pronounced, whatever it is. But really enjoyed this one on the Saturn. Amazing 2D shooter kind of game, side-scroller game. It really is a lot of fun. I love the arcade shooters on the Saturn. Clone Hero, which is easily my favorite version of a Guitar Hero game because it was fan-made and fans always make the games the best. And right after that, we have Gears of War 3. Love the Gears of War series. I didn't really know where to put it on this list, so I kind of just put it under honorable mentions, but it's definitely like my second favorite Xbox franchise that was ever made. Really liked 1, 2, and 3. Really liked 1 and 2 as well. Thought 4 was kind of eh. Thought 5 was really good, but 1, 2, and 3 have to be my favorites. Gears of War 2 and 3, I always, honestly, can't make up my mind between the two. But all these are great games. These are the honorable mentions. Let's talk about number 1. Alright, guys. Our number 1 pick is Doom 2016. I put Doom Eternal in the thumbnail. I don't care. My number 1 pick was Doom 2016. So this game was an absolute blast to me. As I just said, I loved Doom Eternal, but I ended up liking Doom 2016 even more. I really felt like the level design just was better in Doom 2016. That's honestly how it felt to me. When it came to Doom Eternal, I liked the levels, but I really liked Doom 2016 better in that regard. I know the combat in Eternal had better elements to it, but I liked the simplicity of the Doom 2016 combat better. I liked the level design better. I didn't like the graphics better, but I did like the design of the demons better. I thought they looked better than what they did in Doom Eternal. I know the Doom Eternal ones were closer to the original artwork, but I liked Doom 2016's better in that regard. Whatever it is, Doom 2016 has been on my top spot for a very long time now. Doom Eternal, I did put it above it for a little while, and then I eventually did put it back under Doom 2016. I keep swapping the two, but I can now 100% say that I like Doom 2016 better, and I don't think I'll ever switch up my answer again. I am still playing through Doom Eternal, but when it comes to Doom 2016, I've beaten this game so many times to the point where I'm now proficient on 2 different gamepads. So I'm proficient on the Xbox controller because I'm almost done with Nightmare, and I'm pretty much mastered it on keyboard as well because I've beaten it on Nightmare on keyboard. So I can play 2 different gamepads and still play the game the same way, which is pretty fun. And love Doom 2016 quite a ton. Love Doom Eternal, but Doom 2016 takes my top spot. So anyway, guys, that's all my favorite top 20 games. There's a chance that tomorrow I may disagree with my own list and put something above, but this is honestly something I've been thinking about for like 2 weeks now. I made sure that I thought about my picks before I did this. There could be possibilities that I put some things higher than other things that maybe I'll disagree with in the future, but whatever it is, that's everything right here. These are all the games I've really enjoyed over the past few years, my whole life, or games that recently came out that just ended up getting high on the list because of how good they were. So maybe in the future we'll get games that beat this top spot. I really want a game to beat Doom 2016 because that game came out in 2016 and I'm still waiting for something that's going to beat it. Miles Morales was above it for a little while, but then I was like, Miles Morales can go more at number 8. So yeah, that's it, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed me talking about all this. I will see you all in the next one.